शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशुरादिने जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, so the first sloka spoke about the absolute truth. That is, what does it indicate? The first one, second one, and third one. First one is the
Sambandha. Second one is Avidaya, and third one is Prayojana.
Prayojana. So Krishna Sambandha, Bhakti Avideya, and Prema Prayojana. Okay. So yeah. So that's very important to understand our relationship with Krishna, who we are and who Krishna is. So Janma Adyasya Yata. Okay, he is the Supreme Lord. Okay, he is our master, and Janma Adyasya, he is the cause of all creation. So the seven attributes of the absolute truth was covered in the first sloka. Okay, so we had Janma Adyasya Yata, that Krishna is the cause of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Anvayat itaratas chartesh apitya. He directly and indirectly knows everything. He's fully cognizant. Swarat, he's fully independent. And Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikave. Okay. He first imparted the Vedic knowledge to Brahma. Mukhyandi yat Surya. Even great sages and demigods are put into illusion because of that. And Techo Vari Mridam Yada Vinimeyo. So it's him who actually shows that the material world is factual, even though it is temporary. And only is because of him the temporary manifested the three modes appears factual. Damna Svena Sada Nirastapam. He is eternally existent in the transcendental abode. Satyam Param Divehi. I meditate on the absolute truth. Okay, so that's a Sambandha, our relationship with Krishna. The second sloka, the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, is the Avideya, the definition of real religion, Dharma Prochita Kaitava. So we have to reject all the materially motivated religion, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, which is called Kaitava Dharma. And Paramo, it propounds the highest truth. Nirmatsaranam Sadam, it's for the non-envious people who are pure in the heart. And Vastavam Vastu Shivadam, it distinguishes the highest reality from illusion. It's for the welfare of all. Tabatriyun Modaram, this Bhagavatam will uproot the threefold miseries of our life. And Mahamuni Krite, it was compiled by Vyasdev in the stage of maturity. We already saw that. Kimva Paririshari, what is the need of any other scriptures? Right? And Swadhyo Hridi Avarudya Atra Kridibi Shushushibi Takshana. Just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, what happens? Krishna is established in your heart at once. As soon as one attentively and submissively hears Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna appears in our heart, or he get manifested in our heart. The third sloka is about the Prayojana, invitation to release Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is Nikamakalpataro Galitam Phalam. It is the ripened fruit of the Vedic literature. Shuka Mugadamrita Dravasamedam. It has come from the lotus mouth of Shuka. And Pipada Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. We can drink Bhagavatam. Uhur Aho Rasika Bhubi Bhavuka. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye Nashtapraya Shabhidreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seveya Bhagavadiruttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langya Vigrim Yetkapatam Hamanti Shri Gurudina Dharanam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishvara Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasha Deshadarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So words from Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada says that we must read all his books, which is translated mainly Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Otherwise, after some time, we will simply eat and sleep and fall down from our position. So we'll miss the opportunity to attain the eternal blissful life of transcendental pleasure. So I was asking one Prabhu, like, it's not consistent. Like some days I read, some days I don't read, some days so much service, something comes, and that regular consistency is not there. What to do? So Prabhu said, because you don't realize the book is Krishna or this book is Prabhupada, you're not associating with them. Once you realize the book is not different from Krishna, not different from Prabhupada, and you get associated with Prabhupada by reading the book, then we'll give importance and we'll read. So it's very important to read. And the third sloka, again to be memorized, it says, Nikakma kalpatarur galitam phalam shuka mukat amrita drava samyutam pipata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhur aho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha Nikama kalpatarur galitam phalam. So, relish Srimad Bhagavatam is the mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literatures. So, it's a mature fruit because it's the essence, it's the cream. And it emanates from whom? Shuka Mugahadamrita Dravasamedam, from the lips of Sri Shukadev Goswami. Why is it said Sri Shukadev Goswami?
Liberated soul. Liberated soul.
Shri indicates whom?
Lakshmi.
Radharani.
Radharani. So Shukadev Goswami is the Shuka parrot of Radharani, Shri Shuka. So that's why sometimes they say Bhagavatam doesn't describe Radharani. It's there. We're not able to see Shri Shuka. Shri is actually Radharani. Yes, the is expansion of Lakshmi Devi, but when it's Narayan, the pleasure potency is Lakshmi. When it becomes Krishna, it's Radharani. So therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful because it's come from the lotus mouth of Shuka. Although its nectar and juice was already relished for all, including liberated souls. Even liberated souls relish Srimad Bhagavatam. So what to say of conditioned souls? So Prabhupada's here, he says, he glorifies Srimad Bhagavatam and how to respect and receive it. Okay, because Srimad Bhagavatam is a spotless Purana. It is very, very dear to the liberated souls, even the Vaishnavas. Everybody relish Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is glorified as Krishna's literary incarnation, and we have to respect and receive it in the right mode and aspect. And the Vedas are the desire fruit-filling tree, like spiritual desires. Okay, any spiritual desires that will be fulfilled. And there are different rasas from Krishna. What is Krishna's another name? Because he can exchange all the rasas.
Mataji, Rasaraj.
Rasaraj.
Because all the rasas are in Krishna. Maybe Rasaraj is one name. But what does Rupa Goswami call him? The nectar of devotion. Because Krishna is the reservoir of all the rasas. All. Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Akhila, all. Rasa Amrita Murti. That is Krishna. So all the rasas can be, because when Krishna entered Dwaraka, when Krishna entered Mathura, the fighters, they saw Krishna as death personified. Elderly people saw Krishna as a young boy, like Valsalaras. The young girls saw Krishna as a husband or a lover in Madhuri. So different rasas can be relished by different people. So here Krishna is a reservoir of all the rasas, and the qualification of Shukadeva Goswami is explained here. Shukadeva Goswami need not undergo any purification ceremony. Why? When he was born, what was his age?
16.
16. So immediately he ran to the forest, okay, because he was scared of Maya. And he didn't undergo any purification ceremony. Why? Upanayan, Samskar, nothing.
He was already a liberated soul. He was born as a liberated soul.
He's already a liberated soul. So liberated soul means what? Iharyasya harirdasya karmana manasa gira nikileshapi havisteshu jivan tasa uchyate. So karmana manasa gira, everything they are spiritual. Like Prabhupada was saying that when you put an iron rod in fire, what will the iron rod do? Behave like? It becomes red hot.
Fire, Mataji.
It behaves like a fire. Similarly, pure devotees, because they're constantly chanting the holy name, constantly associated with Krishna, unlike like us, we have material things. They are Anyabhilashita Shunya, all 20 for us into Krishna consciousness. Their body, like an iron rod, hot, become fire, behaves like fire. Similarly, their body, even though made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether, it becomes spiritual. It becomes Sachidananda. That's why their body is not destroyed. It's put into Samadhi. So it's very, very important to know that the pure soul's body is also spiritual. Okay, so the pure souls, I mean, they are liberated souls. So such people need not have to undergo any purification ceremony. They are already purified. Like that was the qualification of Shukadeva Goswami, that he is a liberated soul and he didn't have to undergo any purification ceremony, or because he's pure, he's already pure. And 10th and 11th paragraph says how to receive Srimad Bhagavatam and importance of following the disciplic succession and danger of hearing from professional reciters. What will happen if we hear Bhagavatam from professional reciters? If you're hearing from Mayavadi or a professional reciter, then?
Mataji, we will lose our devotional service.
Mayavadi Pasha Shunilya Hoy Sarvanasha, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says everything gets destroyed. And Avaishnava Mugadirnam Putam Harikatamritam Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam Sarpotishtayatapaya. As a snake, poisonous snake have touched, that lips of a poisonous snake touch milk, the whole milk gets spoiled. Similarly, even though Bhagavatam is as sweet as milk, but if it is touched by the lips of a non-devotee, by a Vaishnava, then the whole thing, they'll have their own meaning. They'll interpret in their own meaning. So that's why we have to follow the disciplic succession. It's very, very important that we follow the Guru Parampara. Okay. So Kalpatarur, it's like Chintamani Pragara Salpadu Kalpa Vriksha. So it's desired tree of Vedic literature is Bhagavatam. Kalpatarur means desired tree. Okay. It has a potency to fulfill one's desire, spiritual desire. Okay. Anyone went to Siddha Bakul? Where is Siddha Bakul?
Jagannath Puri.
Yeah, Puri. And what is the speciality there? Why is that place significant?
Mataji, Haridas Thakur used to chant there.
Yeah, Haridas Thakur used to chant 3 lakhs of holy name daily there. So there is a tree in Siddha Bakul. What is the speciality of that tree?
Without any grounding roots, it is there, hanging.
Yeah, it is hollow. The tree is hollow inside. There is no bark, but still it is so green. We are all very like so amazed to see that. How does the without a bark means it is hollow, the tree, but the tree is so it's like a desire tree, they say. And devotees were tying some kind of a thread there, which they got from that small temple there, and they used to tie there and spraying some spiritual desire. So there was one Mataji with me and she had some spiritual desire, didn't tell anyone, but she tied and she called me after 1 month and said, just after tying that with that to that Siddha Bakul tree, which witnessed or heard, so Vaishnava definitely heard 3 lakh names of Haridas Thakur daily, that tree, like she tied that spiritual desire. It's like a desire tree. Within 1 month, the desire got fulfilled. It was a spiritual desire. We should not have any material desires when we go to such pure place. So desire tree in the sense, even Vaishnavas are compared to desire tree, Vanchakalpataru, because they can fulfill our spiritual desires. So Vedic literatures can fulfill your Vedic spiritual desires. Both material and spiritual realization happens there, and knowledge covering all areas to keep the body and soul together. Definitely it helps and gradually rise to spiritual platform like Sattvagun. So Yavan Artha Udapanne Sarpada Samu Pludokate Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu Brahmanasya Vichanakaha. So all purpose served by small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. We saw in Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, all purpose of Vedas can be served to serve the one who knows the purpose behind him. Vedesha Sarver Ahameva Vidyam. So the main purpose of Vedas is to know Krishna. But Vyasdev didn't write about Krishna or didn't write about devotional service in any of the Vedas. That's why he had to compile Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, and in his maturity, in the sense he have realized and he have realized his mistake, and Narad Muni had come and personally told him. Okay, so it's a mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literature. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. Galitam phala means ripened fruit. It doesn't have a peel outside or a seed inside. Just imagine there is a fruit like that. You can just drink it now. You don't have to waste anything. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam, you can't say, oh, this chapter is waste, this chapter is... No, all the chapters are equally important. Prabhupada says, the Krishna's Rasa Leela with the gopis is as important as Krishna's Kurukshetra Leela with Arjuna, as Parthasarathi. So we should not feel that, oh, this Leela is high and that Leela is less. No, Krishna's, all the Leelas are equally important. It's a cream of all Vedic literatures because it's the essence. And how Vyasdev wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, that is his mature realization, and by the instruction of Narad Muni. So it's a natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, like Atada Brahma Jityasa and Janmadeseda. And it's very difficult to obtain, but directly available in this age. When Bhaktivinoda Thakur was there, and that time it was very difficult to get one copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And what about Bhagavatam? Very difficult. But now, everywhere, Veda base, in every temple and every nook and corner, we have these books. But people don't read. That is a misfortune, or what do you say? They got the opportunity, but they are not using it. So it's not different from Krishna. Krishna Swadhama Bhagavad. When Krishna left the world, he left dharma in this Bhagavatam. So it is not different from Krishna. Okay, and then when you do read Bhagavatam, what happens? Bhagavatam speaks the highest goal of life, which is devotional service. The highest goal is devotional service and divine love of Krishna, this Krishna Prema. And according to all the Vedas, Srimad Bhagavatam is the very form of divine love. The 4 Vedas are like yogurt, but Srimad Bhagavatam is the butter, the essence. And the churner is who? Shukadeva Goswami. And the eater of the butter is Parikshit Maharaj. As we know, the Sarvopanishato Gavo Gotha Gopalanandana Partavatsaswatirtokta Dugdam Gitamritam Mahat. So in Gita Mahatmyam by Adi Shankaracharya also they say Gita Upanishad, it's an Upanishad where it's like it's a cow and the milking is done by Krishna and it is drunk by Arjuna. So here the churna of the butter is Shukadeva Goswami and the butter is eaten by Parikshit Maharaj. So it's a natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra, like Garuda Puran, Color Praise, Lord Chaitanya's reliance on Srimad Bhagavatam. So here it says, he says, Purnam Sovaya Adishcha, that is Bhagavatam, the Purana is completely perfect, Purna. Like Krishna is completely perfect. Perfect means nothing is incomplete or nothing to be upgraded. And it's the purport of Vedanta Sutra, and it established the meaning of Mahabharata. It's a commentary on Gayatri and completes the message of the Vedas. So you don't have to, somebody called me and asked, is there a Vedic study in ISKCON Mangaluru? In the sense, do you teach all the Vedas, Sama Veda, Yajurveda, and all? But why? Because you already have the essence of the Vedas, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. You just have to read Srimad Bhagavatam or study it. Bhakti Vaibav course is actually like a Vedic study. It is because the Vedas, the commentaries on the Gayatri, the complete message of the Vedas is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the Sama Veda among the Puranas spoken directly by the incarnation of God Vyasdeva. And this work consists of the 12 cantos, hundreds of chapters, 18,000 verses. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the sloka again you have to memorize. That's in 3rd chapter, but here it says, Krishne Swadhama Pagade Dharma Jnanadi Vasaha Kalau Nashtadrisham Esha Purana Ko Adunoditaha. Krishna Swadhama Pagade, Swadhama. Krishna went back to his abode, departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, and Dharma Jnanadi Vasaha. Along with Dharma, religion and knowledge, then what happened? The Bhagavad Purana was like a brilliant sun. It has arisen just after Lord Krishna's departure, and people who have lost their vision due to the dens of darkness of ignorance of the age of Kali can get light from this Purana. Purana ko adinodita. So it shows that it's not different from Krishna. Okay, Krishna Tulya Bhagavata, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vipu Sarva Shraya Prati Shloke Prati Akshare Nana Arthakaya. Krishna Tulya Bhagavata. Krishna says, Matta Paradaram Nanya. There is no one above Krishna or equal to Krishna. Krishna is Asamurta. Still, Bhagavatam can be equal to Krishna in the sense because it's Krishna, it's describing Krishna. Bhagavatam is about Krishna and Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Krishna. So it's not different from Krishna. So Srimad Bhagavatam is as great as Krishna. Krishna Tulya Bhagavata. Vibhu Sarvashriya is the Supreme Lord and the shelter of everyone. And Prati Shloke Prati Akshare, every sloka, every verse, Nana Arthakaya, it has various meanings. So that's why we should have a guru. Today I was realizing my son, now I was just singing that Nitai Pada Kamala Kodi Chandra Shishitala. So it means Nityananda's pada, that is the lotus feet, is equal to thousands of moonlight. That's it. But he was thinking because Sushitala, Tala means in Malayalam means head. So he's like something related to head. Then I was realizing this is what happens when you don't have a guru. You have another meaning. So different meanings can be interrupted if you don't have a guru or if you don't have someone to tell you. So Bhagavatam also can be read by anyone, but to realize it, to understand, we have to follow Acharya like Srila Prabhupada. So it's a nectarian juice or rasa of Srimad Bhagavatam. Rasa means the mellow or the relationship or taste. And it's not mundane, it's spiritual. And the 12 rasas, the 5 primary and 7 secondary rasas can be obtained from Krishna. Raso Vaisaha, Krishna is the founder and head of all the rasas. And relationship of the living entity with the world is that even though it's temporary, through this temporary body, we can get the permanent, the Lord. That rasa is present in Srimad Bhagavatam, which one relishes even at liberated stage. Okay, so it says, I was certainly situated perfectly in transcendence, yet I was still attracted by the lineation of the pastimes of the Lord, who is described by the enlightened verses. So what is it called? Because Krishna is described by enlightened verses, Krishna is called as Krishna's another name, because Krishna is described by the best of the verses. Krishna is called as Uttama Sloka.
Shloka.
He's Uttama Sloka. He's the best among the verses. Okay. And it's emanating from the mouth of Srila Shukadeva Goswami. And Shukadeva Goswami, these are the qualifications of Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami, yes, was a liberated soul, parent of Radharani. And he come down in a bona fide disciplic succession. Right from the source, that is Vyasdev, right from the Krishna, he's coming down from the succession. And he is a parrot, Shuka. And the sweet is even enhanced when it came through the lips of Shuka. And it's not just parrot like repeating, because he presented with his own realization. It is easily digestible for all classes of men. Now, when parrot speaks, it's not like only kids get attracted to a parrot. Even an elderly person, even a middle age, everyone get attracted to a parrot. It's very cute. Similarly, it's not parrotized or it's not repeated just like that, but it is presented with the depth of his own realization. He's realized. And it did not dilute anything, but presented in easy digestible format and attracted to all classes of men. So that's why Shukadeva Goswami is compared to a parrot. And who should we receive Bhagavatam from? In disciplic succession and not from a professional man. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, there was somebody called Devananda Pandit. Devananda Pandit was a professional Bhagavad reciter. So when Devananda Pandit was reciting Bhagavatam, one day what happened? Srivas Thakur came there, and when Srivas Thakur heard Bhagavatam, even though it was professionally recited, he went into ecstasy, Srivas Thakur, and fell on the ground and started rolling and went into, he lost his consciousness. So Devananda Pandit could not understand it's because of ecstasy. He thought it's just a show. He told his students to take Srivas Thakur and throw him out of the Bhagavad Saptah area. And when Srivas Thakur regained his consciousness, he got offended and he went back. So that Vaishnava Aparadh was there from Devananda Pandit. And Mahaprabhu was so furious and so angry as Devananda Pandit. And Mahaprabhu said, what kind of Bhagavatam are you reciting? You can't even understand somebody in a stage of ecstasy. So this is very important that we recite Bhagavatam with Bhakti. And Swarup Damodar Goswami also advised to a Brahmana poet. Once any poems written by anybody will not be directly sung to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It has to go through Swarup Damodar Goswami. Swarup Damodar will first hear the poem, and if it is anything wrong, he corrects them, or else it will not be heard to Mahaprabhu. So this is a poet from East Bengal. He came and he was very proud of his poem. So he went to Swarup Damodar and recited the poem. And there was something called Rasa Bhas. Does anyone know what is Rasa Bhas? Rasa Abhas. What is it?
That is Aparad Mataji.
Okay.
Aparad.
Rasa
There is a
Bhas
mistake.
means
Mataji, reciting Srimad Bhagavatam with aparad, some sort of aparad or
no.
Mataji, rasa
Interpretation of
abhas
rasa.
like means like we are thinking this is the rasa, but like it is actually different.
And any example? Rasa Abhas, in the sense, the poem.
Many think Ras Leela misinterpret many of those who are not qualified.
Rasalila?
They misinterpret and they take it as mundane activities.
No, something like Rasa means Rasa Abhas means Rasa. Madhurya ras and Aishwarya Ras or gets combined. In the sense, Lakshmi Narayan is worshipped in Aishwarya Ras, but Radha Krishna is worshipped in pure Madhurya Ras. But if you, in that poem, it was like Narayan and Radha and Krishna and Lakshmi. So that's kind of a rasabhas, you understood? Or in the sense, if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can be with Radha Krishna, Gaur Radha Krishna, but Gaur Nita should not be kept with Radha Krishna in the same altar. It should be different. So that's why in our temple also we are planning to shift. We have to get Gauranga big DT. So that it's Gaur Radha Krishna. Nityananda Prabhu is Balram. That bhava is different. So this is again bhava bhas, or the bhava is different. Similarly, there's rasa bhas where the rasa is different. So there was a rasa bhas here, and Swarup Damodar told that you should not recite this to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we should know from whom we should receive the right. It should be from the rights. We should not hear Bhagavatam from anyone. It should be from the disciplic succession. So what is the qualification of the hearer? How should we receive it? One should be anxious to hear, first of all. That's the first qualification. Utsaha, Nishya, Dhairya. First, we should be anxious. We are enthusiastic. No, otherwise, this same thing I have heard 100 times. No, not be that. Every time should be anxious to hear. And patient and submissive hearing. Not like I know already know this. No, patiently hear. And great respect and attention and eagerness. Not like putting challenging question to the Bhagavad reciter. Get respect and attention. And Shushrushubhish Takshanat. As soon as one attentively and submissively hear the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within one's heart. But it should be submissive hearing. And one can elevate to Paramahamsa stage simply by agreeing to receive the message. So submissive hearing means like that Dundukari and Gokarna stories where the submissive hearing happened. Okay, can anyone read this?
Hare Krishna
Shall I read,
Mataji. Can
Mataji?
I?
Yes, Deepti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. How one should hear and from whom? One should hear with the rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of a Lord Krishna in every page. The secret of a knowing Bhagavatam is a mention here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, mating. But somehow or other, if someone hears with a rapt attention from the right person, at the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Sri Krishna in a person in the pages of Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.44, purport by Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So here, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person, both are important, hearing and also from the right person. So try to hear Bhagavatam from Srila Prabhupada, like Srila Prabhupada's lecture. You can just type 1.1.1 or 1.1.2, all the lectures by Srila Prabhupada. Beautiful lectures and so nice to hear from a pure soul. So we'll be able to realize Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna through the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sharan Prabhu, Hare Krishna, can you read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Srimad Bhagavatam. Person Bhagavatam, my purports are my devotional ecstasies. In my book, The Philosophy of Krishna Consciousness is explained fully. So, if there's anything you don't understand, then you simply have to read again and again. By reading daily, the knowledge will be revealed to you. You may please me the most by reading my books and following the instructions therein. Hare Krishna.
What's Prabhupada? This is the words of Prabhupada saying, you can please Prabhupada by reading his book. Just by reading, Prabhupada will be happy with you. That's what we need now. Yeah, the Acharya should be pleased. So it's the devotional ecstasies. You can see how Prabhupada is translating. You can see when he translates all these leelas and everything runs in his mind, or he's in full ecstasy. That's why he selected 12 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. so that nobody disturbs him, and he's completely into trance when he when he dictate or translate his books. So it's very important. And if you don't understand, no, sometimes most of them, they say first canto Srimad Bhagavatam, very difficult, Mataji, not able to understand. What is Prabhupada saying? You have to simply read again and again. That's it. By reading daily, the knowledge will be revealed to you. That's the words of the Acharya. It will not be wrong. Prabhupada, why should Prabhupada lie? He will not lie. So he is saying what is the truth. So this is the answer to all our questions. Why am I not understanding Bhagavatam? Because I have to read again and again, and the knowledge will reveal to us. So, and we can please Srila Prabhupada just by reading the books and following the instructions there. Okay, and then also in Krishna Leela Sava by Srila Sanatana Goswami, it is said, Sarva Shastra Piyusha, Sarva Vedega Satpala, Sarva Siddhanta Ratnatya, Sarva Logaiga Prada, Sarva Bhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, Kali Tandota Ditya, Shri Krishna Parivartita, Sarva Shastra Piyusha. Bhagavatam is the nectar churned from the ocean of all Vedic scriptures. And Sarva Vedega Satphala, it's a transcendental fruit of all the Vedas. Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya, it's enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophy and conclusion. And it grants spiritual vision to all the people in the world. O life breath of the Vaishnava devotees, O Lord, you are the sun that has arisen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, you say Nama Prabhu, similarly Bhagavata is a Prabhu, and you are actually Lord Krishna. Shri Krishna Parivartita, you have returned among us in form of Bhagavatam. Also in Krishna Leela Sava, Sanatana Goswami says, Madhega Bandhu Mat Sangin Mat Guru Man Mahadana Man Nishtaraga Mat Bhagya Madananda Namosude. My only fortune, my friend, my well-wisher, my relative, my guru, everything is Srimad Bhagavatam. Mat Bhagya, my fortune is Srimad Bhagavatam. So just imagine, Sanatana Goswami used to carry Bhagavatam and then do Govardhan Parikrama in the old age also. Okay, so just imagine the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the Nigama Kalpatarur Galitam Phalam Shuka Mukad Amritadrava Samyudam Pipata Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Muhur Aho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavuka. Okay, Pipata Bhagavatam. We have to just drink Bhagavatam. And how do we drink it? Through our ears. You drink Srimad Bhagavatam through the ears. Okay, so means we have to keep hearing and hearing and hearing, pouring in Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. Every day, not just Bhagavat Sapta for just 7 days. No. So most of the temple it happens. And then people just forget it. And again, next year, I've seen Mataji. She has like 7 saris for 7 days Bhagavat Sapta. And then there's a Bhagavatam book also. And every year she goes to Bhagavat Sapta and recite the whole verses and come back. But and they take these, they are professional reciters, no? And they take only what? Important topics. Like one day, Sudama Seva, and then next day Rukmini Swayamvar, and the next day, small like all this important things. Everything is important, but then they take only from here and there, all the Shavata's covered together. So like that. What will we understand? Prabhupada says the speaker as well as the listener will not understand in 7 days. You hear the same thing again and again. Well, it's purely business also now. But any ISKCON temples you go, now always there is morning program which winds up with Bhagavatam class. So definitely it is very, very important to hear Bhagavatam daily. Okay, sloka 4 to 11. So first 3 slokas have to be memorized. Start memorizing now itself, please, because it's not easy. Okay, you can memorize other slokas of Bhagavatam later on, but first 2 slokas. Third one is also easy, just 4 small lines. But first 2 slokas need lot of time. If you're not used to it, do start now itself. Because the chapter will get over fast and the exam will come. And that time, please don't ask me to postpone the exam. That's what all the Bhakti Vaibav batches have been doing. Postpone. You know, when I postpone, what happens? I'll be teaching the next chapter, but your mind will be stuck in the first chapter because you have not finished the exam yet. So I stopped doing it because nobody will concentrate on the next chapter. They think that, oh, I have to finish the previous chapter exam now. So they'll be studying the previous chapter and they will not concentrate on the next chapter. So it's really half done. So I'll finish sloka, theory, exam of each chapter, then only go to the next chapter. Okay, and don't postpone. If you postpone, first of all, it's a 3 years course. You go on and on and on. So better start now itself. I've already given you time, enough time to study. You'll get 3-4 weeks, one week for one sloka. That would be nice. So 4 to 11 slokas is about Vaishnava compassion. So we'll just go through that. Srila Prabhupada Uvacha. Yes, Ratnagi Mataji, you can read.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Words from our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. After hearing a description of the hellish planets from Sukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj said, Aduneha Mahabhaga Yathaiva Narakan Naraha Nanogra Yatana Neya Tan Me Vyakhyatum Arhasi. Sir, I have heard from you about the hellish planets. Men who are sinful are sent to those planets. Bhagavatam 6.1.6. Parikshit Maharaj is a Vaishnava devotee, and a Vaishnava always feels compassion for the distress of others. He is afflicted by others' miseries. Lord Jesus Christ, for instance, was greatly afflicted by the miserable conditions of the people, regardless of which country or sect they belong to. All Vaishnavas or devotees, any people who are good, God conscious or Krishna conscious, are thus compassionate. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mataji was asking, why is Lord Jesus Christ's name mentioned in a scripture like Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam's class and all? See, the religion and all is made by man actually. The faith. Faith is important. And Prabhupada says, whatever religion you follow, at last is love of Godhead. And Jesus Christ is a messenger of God. In that way, he came to take away the suffering of others. So, like Haridas Thakur. So, we don't have to say that this person is, no, they're all Vaishnavas in the sense they feel compassion for the distress of others. What is that quality called as? Feel distress when others are in distress. Yeah, correct.
Karuna.
Paradukho dukhi.
Paradukhe Dukhi and Parasukhi.
Paradukha dukhi means when others are in dukkha, you also feel dukkha. Paradukha dukhi, that is called. Okay, Paradukha Sukhi is a materialistic person. And Prabhupada says he was prepared for the journey towards the west only when he was carrying Srimad Bhagavatam with him. And 3 volumes of translated Srimad Bhagavatam, the first canto, on his arrival in Boston Harbor, 1965, he wrote. So these Bhagavatam, from where it was boarded, the 3 sets of Bhagavatam into the ship. From Kolkata, Prabhupada boarded the ship. But Bhagavatam sets were boarded in from Cochin, Kerala. So that's a place where Prabhupada actually, the ship went there, and there was, I think Prabhupada was for 1 or 2 days in Cochin, and there's a place where the devotees of Cochin went there and laid a foundation stone saying that the Tirtha Kurvandi Tirthani, wherever a pure devotee comes, that becomes Tirtha, that becomes a pilgrimage place. And so wherever Prabhupada landed, that place, they put a pilgrimage stone saying that Prabhupada was there, and the 3 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam got loaded into the Jaladuta ship from that place. So, and then Prabhupada went out for shopping because whenever the ship stops somewhere, they go out, get vegetables, fruits and all, and they were sustaining throughout the journey. So in Kerala, there's something called Nendrana. There's a big banana, ripened one, those who know. So it's not available everywhere. Yes, some places, but it's more famous there. So Prabhupada was first time being a Kolkata person. He was like, oh, such big bananas, and I can eat one banana for whole day. And Prabhupada, because he was sharing the fridge with his captain of the ship. In the fridge, the first 2 layers, just one compartment fridge, just imagine the first 2 parts, all meat and fish and all is filled. And you get the last row where you can put your vegetables and fruits. Just imagine the condition. But Prabhupada never complained about it. He was so happy he got a free ticket to US. And see, and he had 2 heart attacks. Never in the whole lectures or anywhere, unless there's one room conversation where Prabhupada just mentioned that I had a 2 heart attack, and the 3rd day, if the heart attack comes, I don't think I survived, and I saw a dream and all that. But otherwise, Prabhupada never mentioned. We get a small headache and we make a big fuss out of it. How much Prabhupada struggled. And Prabhupada says, no, I'm not going to Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is going and I'm just accompanying it. Okay. So he wrote, the words of Srimad Bhagavatam are Krishna's incarnation. And if a sober person repeatedly receive with submissive oral reception, then he will be able to understand the message. that Poro Kripa Koile Krishna Adha Mera Prati song in Jaladuta he wrote it. So Bhagavatam, there are 6, the first chapter is about the 6 questions by the sages of Naimisharanya. So there are 6 questions by the sages. So we'll see what is the first question, that is in the 9th sloka. So Bhagavatam, as we all described, the first 2 cantos are the lotus feet, 3 and 4 thighs, 5 is navel, 6 is the chest, arms, 7 is arms, 8 is again arm, the next arm, and throat is the 9th one, 10th is the lotus feet, face, and the 11th is the forehead, head is the 12th canto. Just to understand that and setting the scene. 4 to 5 is about how the scene was said. Naimishe animishe nimishe rishaya shaunagadayaha satram swargaya lokaya sahasra samamas asata. So once in a holy place in the forest of Naimisharanya, the great sage headed by the sage Shaunaka assembled to perform a great 1,000-year sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord and his devotees. So Shaunaka, the rishis are asking questions to whom?
Suta
Suta
Goswami.
Goswami.
So Suta Goswami also was there when Shukadeva Goswami recited Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. So he heard from Shukadeva Goswami and he is repeating to his disciples or to others. So this is how we should hear Bhagavatam. So you can see Prabhupada comes, Prabhupada sit and take Bhagavatam class. All the disciples here, they go and preach. So you should hear. To become a good preacher, sometimes Namisha Prabhu says, he just calls any devotees in 5 or 10 minutes before Bhagavatam class and says you have to take Bhagavatam class. But unless you are ready, unless you have read, you already read Shastras and heard, you won't be confident to take a class. Otherwise, you feel like, no, I need time to prepare. I need time to prepare. But whatever we prepare is already done in our daily basis. Daily we hear, a person daily hears, daily reads and all, they can take beautiful classes. So Animesha Kshetra, the spot which is especially a favorite of Vishnu, who does not close his eyelids. Prabhupada says, so your eyes, we have got closing eyelid. But Vishnu's eyelids never close. Therefore, he's called Animesha. Therefore, gopis condemned Brahma. Why you have avoided us these nonsense eyelids? It sometimes closes the eyes, we cannot see Krishna. This is gopis' desire. They want to see Krishna always without being disturbed by the eyelids. That is Krishna consciousness. No, we are not conscious of the eyelids. Now, at least now we are saying we are conscious. But otherwise, 24 hours is just closing and opening. And we don't feel we have missed anything. Because it's a fraction of second, fraction. But the gopis don't want even that. Because they don't want the Krishna miss Krishna's moves. So you can see the scene has been set that the Suta Goswami has been asked questions by the sages of Naimisharanya, including Shaunaka. Okay, can anyone read? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Setting the scene. The great sages are always anxious to do good to people in general, and as such, the sages headed by Shaunaka and others assembled at this holy place of Naimisharanya with a program of performing a great and continuous chain of sacrificial ceremonies. Forgetful men do not know the right path for peace and prosperity. However, the sages know it well, and therefore, for the good of all men, they are always anxious to perform acts which may bring about peace in the world. They are sincere friends to all living entities, and at the risk of great personal inconvenience, they are always engaged in the service of the Lord for the good of all people. Hare Krishna.
So you can see here Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur waited 3 days for that prostitute to be changed. Okay, so otherwise he would have gone from there before itself. Okay, so here they've assembled in the sages of in the forest of Naimisharanya so as to get some questions, answers to the questions, which is good for all in general. So that's a compassion of a Vaishnava. Vaishnava being a Vaishnava, Prabhupada says the real compassion is mainly to help others to come to Krishna consciousness. Most of us came to Krishna consciousness to help ourselves, and is a compassionate institution, runs in mercy. So Janma Sarthakari Parakaro Paropakar. So it's Karuna or Kripa. Krishna gave mercy to Putana, also elevated her to the position of mother. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Vasudeva Vipra when he had leprosy. And also Randi Devi can know that when he was fasting, he gave his prasadam to all. And Avandi Brahmana. The 6 Goswamis, they were so compassionate to the poor fallen souls that the 6 Goswamis gave up the exalted position. They were Nawab Hussain Shah's ministers, Sakhar Malik and the Virkas. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami gave up all that and took up vows to be mendicants for us actually. So Vaishnavas, the prayer of a Vaishnava is also very powerful. When we pray for ourselves, Krishna may or may not listen. But when other Vaishnavas pray for us, that's why we always request them, please pray for me, Prabhu or Mataji, so that when they pray, that Krishna, there's more chance Krishna hears it. So important quality of a Vaishnava is an eagerness to hear. Yes, Sharon Prabhu, you can read.
Hare Krishna. Important quality of a Vaishnava. When Srila Prabhupada was sitting at Koshi with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur for hours and hours and hours, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was speaking, and so many people were asking questions, and he was answering all of them. But Srila Prabhupada did not speak a word in that whole darshan. He just sat and listened with an eagerness to understand, with an eagerness to serve. The next time Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati met Srila Prabhupada in Allahabad, Rupa Goswami Mutt, Allahabad is where Lord Sri Chaitanya instructed Rupa Goswami, who also approached with complete submissiveness to serve. So the temple president recommended, this is Abhay Charan. He wants to be your disciple. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he saw him and he was very pleased. And he said, oh, yes, I will initiate him. I marked that he likes to hear.
This is one of the qualifications which Prabhupada had, that Prabhupada liked to hear from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. All the others were going for parikrama and koshi and all that. But since Prabhupada, Abhay Charan came to know that's a lecture by his Gurudev, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he remained there just to hear. So it's very important we listen with eagerness to understand. So, and eagerness is very important to hear, and results of regular hearing and reading Srimad Bhagavatam is that the Supreme Lord said, oh grandfather Brahma, one should regularly hear the famous Srimad Bhagavatam with faith. Know for certain that such hearing is the only means to satisfy Krishna. So how do we satisfy Krishna? By hearing Bhagavatam. Krishna becomes more pleased when he hears. And one who daily read Bhagavatam will attain with every syllable the result of giving a brown cow in charity. One who daily reads or hears even a quarter of a verse of Srimad Bhagavatam attains the result of giving 1,000 cows in charity. Just imagine, we can't give even one cow, but 1,000 cows in charity. Just imagine, just hear and read Bhagavatam daily. That's it. Not even full, half a quarter of a verse. My dear son, one who daily reads Srimad Bhagavatam with full concentration attains the result of studying the 18 Puranas. These are the glorification. So 6 to 8 is the glorifying the speaker, that is Sutta Goswami. So he has a lot of qualities. He's Anaga, he's free from all vices. And Aditani, Akhyatani. He's well versed in scriptures and Puranas. He also explained and realized it. Veda Vidam, he's eldest, learned Vedantist. And Shrestha, he knows the knowledge of Vedas and other sages. Saumya, he's gentle, pure, and simple. And Snigdasya, he's submissive. So Sutta Goswami was offered the seat of Vyasasan because he was aware of these things. Itihasa, the history, Puranas, all that. So first Prabhupada says we have to read. Not only you have to read, but you have described. You have to describe. Description means you read something. Unless you fully assimilate or understand, you cannot describe it. So there are two things. Simply reading will not help. When we shall be able to preach the reading message, doesn't matter whether it's the same language or whichever language, it doesn't matter. So that is, you have to read and you have to explain it. See, just reading will not actually help. Like we can read, we won't be able to remember it, or it's just volatile, just goes away from you. Like I read so much, I read so much, but I don't remember or recollect because you're not preaching it. You have to, Shravanam and Kirtanam should happen. Because when a vessel is full of water, and if you pour more water, the other water should overflow. Otherwise, the new water will not enter the pot. So similarly, when you are full of Harikatha and all the things you have read and heard, unless you let it out or give it to others, your knowledge will not increase. So you have to preach also. So glorifying the speaker, Srila Sudha Goswami, to hear and explain them is most important than reading. You have to hear, read, and explain. One can assimilate the knowledge of the revealed scriptures only by hearing and explaining. Why do you think ISKCON have spread so much? You go and take any other institute, they wouldn't have spread so much because ISKCON have a lot of preachers. So that's very important because one person preached to 10 of them. Those 10 we preach to 100. So it just goes like that and like that. So we need to have preachers. Prabhupada also, if Prabhupada didn't allow anyone took his disciples to preach, we won't have those so many devotees in ISKCON. Prabhupada preached to one person in Russia, and now Russia has the maximum number of devotees. I mean, the highest abroad, outside India. So just imagine, just one person. So that one person preached to 10, the 10 of them preached to another 10, that becomes 100 and multiplies. So all of you doing Bhakti Vaibav, is high time that you take up preaching. Okay, so if you are interested, please let me know, because we need to have new preachers every time. The level 1 should be not repeated by the same teacher. Prabhu wants rotation so that we identify new teachers. You might have small defects or things you're not confident, or you don't think you will be able to do. That's just your mind blocking. Now you do it for Prabhupada. Prabhupada have given us so much. What can I give in return to Prabhupada? So try. Nothing wrong. As Srila Bhakti Saraswati Satyakur says, even if I can make one person a pure devotee, the movement is successful. So we can't make like thousands and thousands of devotees, but at least one soul if you can drag to Krishna. So to hear and explain is important. And one can assimilate the knowledge of the revealed scriptures only by hearing and explaining. Hearing is Shravana, explaining is Kirtana. So two process, Shravana and Kirtana, are the primary importance of progressive spiritual life. Just Shravana will not help. And unless you do Shravana, you cannot do Kirtana. You cannot explain. So both has to done. So preaching, Prabhupada says it's an act of compassion. Before we try to purify ourselves, it goes without saying the necessity of our own purification. Apani achari Prabhu jivere shikhaya. So if you preach, you will slowly improve. In the beginning, you are not pure, but because we are telling others, we also start practicing. So please preach. Therefore, Narayana para sarvena kudaschana vipati swarga apavargana rigesha pitulyata darshana. One have become Narayana para, that means devotee, Krishna conscious. He is never afraid of any conditions of life. So Sudha Goswami is glorified here. He is the eldest Vedantist, and he have acquired knowledge of Vyasadeva, who's incarnation of Godhead. And you also know other sages who are fully versed in all kind of physical and metaphysical knowledge. And he is submissive. Okay, your spiritual masters have endowed you with all the favors, and you can tell us that you have scientifically learned from them. So what is the secret of success in spiritual life? Yeah, can anyone read?
Shall I, Mataji?
Yes.
The secret of success in spiritual life is in satisfying the spiritual master and thereby getting his sincere blessings. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura has sung in his famous 8 stanzas on the spiritual master as follows: I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master. Only by his satisfaction can one please the personality of Godhead, and when he is dissatisfied, there is only havoc on the path of spiritual realization. It is essential, therefore, that a disciple be very much obedient and submissive to the bona fide spiritual master. Srila Sutta Goswami fulfilled all these qualifications as a disciple, and therefore he was endowed with all favors by his learned and self-realized spiritual masters such as Srila Vyasadeva and others. Hare Krishna.
Which is that stanza from Guru Ashtaka? Anybody knows? Only when the spiritual master is pleased, Krishna can be pleased.
Mataji, yassa prasadat bhagavat prasado, yassa prasadan nagati kutopi.
Yeah, yassa prasada, bhagavat prasada. Very good. So only when the spiritual master is pleased, Krishna will be pleased. Yasya aprasada nagati kutopi. If the spiritual master is not pleased, Krishna will not be pleased. So it's very important to please the spiritual master, and that's possible only by preaching or distributing book literatures. So Bhakti Rasam Sindhu also says taking shelter of a guru. We're not going in detail about this. Okay. So 9 to 10. Yeah, 9th is the first question by the sages of Naimisharanya. The first question is asked by the 9th sloka. Tatra tatrajna sayushman bhavadayat vinishitam pumsa ekandada shreyas tanna samsidumarhasi shreyas. Okay, so the first question by the sages of Naimisharanya is that, please therefore, being blessed by many years, explain to us in an easily understandable way that what you have accepted to be the absolute truth or ultimate good for people in general. So the first question by the sages of Naimisharanya to Sutta Goswami is, what is the ultimate good for people in general? Which is definitely Bhakti or devotional services answer, which comes in 1.2.6. The next chapter gives the answer. But the first question by the sages of Naimisharanya is, what is ultimate good for all? And the next sloka I'll stop with this. This again, the 10th sloka is to be memorized. It's for memorization. It says the quality of people in Kali Yuga. Prayena alpayusa sabhya. Prayena alpayusa. That means Satyuga, Treta, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. Satyuga, what was the lifespan?
Mataji, 1 lakh.
1 lakh years.
10,000 years.
1 lakh. In Treta Yuga?
10,000.
10,000.
10,000. Dwapar?
1,000.
1,000.
And Kali Yuga?
100.
100. In that 100, first 20 years of our childhood is gone with
Brahmacharya.
20 years.
In foolishness, Mataji, or in playing.
Playing and studies and all that. So now it became how much now? 100 minus 20, 80,
80.
right? Last 20 years of our life. How does it go? 80.
Mataji, we are not able
Jara
to
Vyadhi.
perform
Jara
anything.
Vyadhi. Jara and Vyadhi, disease and all the old age problems. So again, how many went? Now 60 years. In this 60 years of our life, 30 years, what are we doing?
Sleeping.
Sleeping.
Sleeping. So 50% of our lifespan, we are sleeping. Next 30 years, what are we doing? In our youth.
Running behind
money.
partners and earning money.
Assets and big house and the car and possessions and money and all. Now, where is the time to do bhakti? Prahlad Maharaj asked this. Gone. So, Prayana Alpasa Sabhya. So, Satyuga, they had 1 lakh time of years, 1 lakh. So, they could do meditation and please the Lord, whatever, 60,000 years and all. But in Kali Yuga, it's just 100 years. And in that 100, how many of us live, people around us live 100? Yeah, hardly a few. So, there's a limit, 65, 70, 80, 85 maximum. So, because of this stress and this new lifestyle problems. So, now what happens? Prahlad Maharaj also showed us how the lifespan goes. So now Prayana Alpayusa Sabhya. Alpayusa means the ayus or the lifespan of people in Kali Yuga is decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. In our grandparents' time, they used to live 100 plus. Now, then 90s, then 80s, and now very, people in 60s or 50s only go. So what about our lifespan? So as Kali Yuga progress, again 4,27,000 years. Yeah. So and again, how much is remaining now? 5,000 is over, right? Out of 4,32,000 now.
4,27,000.
27. So in that 4,27,000, as the Kali Yuga progress, the age will keep decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. So that means people will have less age, lifespan. Then Kalo Asmin Yugejana, Manda, Sumanda Madeo, Manda Bhagi, Upadrida. So these are the other 4 qualifications in Kali Yuga. Manda, okay, they are very lazy, quarrelsome. Sumanda Madeo, misguided, unlucky. Manda Bhagya, unlucky. And Upadrida, very disturbed. So people in Kali Yuga, this is what will happen in. They are quarrelsome, they are lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all disturbed. Okay, quarrelsome, definitely small thing issues they fight. Then lazy, because they don't get up at Brahma Muhurta, they like to sleep over again and again. Misguided, because of wrong gurus, they go to wrong yoga systems and all that. Unlucky, because Mandabhagya, they have this good fortune of Krishna consciousness, but they don't take it up and they are disturbed. Stress and all that things. So this is in people in Kali Yuga, they have short lives. And Manda Sumanda Madhyo Manda Bhagya Upadrida, they are disturbed. So these are the qualification of people in Kali Yuga. Short lifespan, Alpayusa. quarrelsome, lazy, Manda, misguided, Sumandamadiyo, unlucky, Mandabhagya, and always disturbed, Ubhadrada. Okay, so I'll stop with this, the 10th sloka. You have to memorize the 3rd and the 10th sloka also. So 1, 2, 3, and 10. Okay. So I'll just stop with this. Manda means what? There are two meanings. Actually, there are Manda. Manda means faulty also. False, so much false. And slow means slow in spiritual realization. Okay. And Sumanda Madhya means what? We are simply thinking on bodily concept. Like the ass philosophy, dog's philosophy, or frog's philosophy. This is going on. That is called Sumanda Madhya. The sages of Naimisharanya are anxious to disentangle all the fallen souls, and here they are seeking the remedy from Sutta Goswami. Like, and Mandavagya, they are unfortunate. Prabhupada says in America, they got all facilities to live, but they are unfortunate. Prabhupada was shocked to see hippies in America. Prabhupada's like, they are developed countries, and you go, all the youngsters without even taking bath have been loitering in the streets. So Prabhupada was so shocked. He's like, they are unfortunate. They got all facilities, but they are not unfortunate. They are not using it in the proper way. So sages of Naimisharanya is concerned about the people in Kali Yuga. Okay, so I'll stop with, so we'll continue with Sloka 11 next class. Anything to add? Any questions? Okay. Please read and come. Reading assignment is very, very important for Bhakti Vaibav class. Unless you read and come, you will not be able to understand or discuss. And each sloka has to be discussed for 1 hour. Actually, Bhagavatam class normally happens 1 sloka for 1 hour or 45 minutes. Now, because we don't have time in Bhakti Vaibhav, we are running, we are rushing through. So we expect you to read the purports. At least not on Monday mornings or evenings, you should feel like, oh, today Aishwarya Mataji will take so many slokas. Let me read and go. So if you can't read on Monday, at least Saturday, Sundays, just take some time and sit and read. And we used to do that when now Bhakti Vaibhav classes happens, we read and go. Otherwise, the teacher was very angry with us, because that person can make out. Now, when I ask question, if you're not answering, that means you're not read. Those who have read can answer, which is in that topic. So you have to go through the purports. Very difficult to read purports in the class. Okay. Develop the habit of reading. At least hear Prabhupada's lectures about chapter 1, Canto 1, chapter 1. Okay. Any other? So first question by the sages of Naimisharanya. What was it in the 9th sloka we saw?
What is ultimate
What is
good for all?
ultimate good for all people?
Yeah, what is ultimate good for all? So this is the first question. Okay. And then in the 2nd chapter, they say, Savai pumsa parodharmo yado bhaktir atokshache ahaituki apradihada yatma suprasitati. So the good for all is devotional service, they say. Okay. Okay, anything to add? So I think we are done.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Just another point. Suswini, Sri Lalita Suswini Mataji was from UK, was trying to contact you. I don't know if she sent a message to you. So she was asking that there's one Mataji over there who had completed the Bhakti Shastri, and she had joined the Bhakti Vaibhav class over there in UK, but she could not cope up that space. So she wanted to ask you whether that Mataji can join our class. I told her to send the message to you.
She has to send her Bhakti Shastri certificate and a letter from the temple, like some recommendation.
Okay, I will send the message to her, Mataji.
Yeah, we can add them.
Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So please start memorizing the sloka. Okay, because exam will come fast. After every chapter, you have closed book exam. After every chapter, we have sloka exam. So please don't take it lightly. Prepare now itself. Okay. Vanchakalpadharusdasya kripasindhubhyo vichaparidanapavini vyavishnavipanadan.